Counsel, both the counsel for respondent and for petitioner were asked a fair number of questions about B1. And I don't want to evaluate it, but I think they were basically each saying they don't quite know why it's there. And I wonder if the federal government has an answer.
I think my answer is that Congress did not view the safety exception as reaching these kinds of claims against brokers and freight forwarders. And so I don't think there is an anomaly, and there certainly isn't if you adopt respondent's view of the safety exception. Now, what Mr. Clement said, first he said he has no idea, but that's just how it is. He said, regardless of this case, I think he said there's going to be this difference between intrastate and interstate anyway. But I don't think that's correct. The first thing he pointed to was that B does not include the limiting phrase with respect to the transportation of property the way C1 does. But you don't need that phrase in B because the only entities covered in B are freight forwarders and brokers. And the only thing those guys do is act as middlemen for the transportation of property. That's what they're statutorily defined as being. So you don't need that limitation in B. You do need it in C because it applies to motor carriers, which can have their cars on the road not engaged in interstate transportation of property. So I don't think that works. So I really do think there's a huge anomaly here that Congress in 95, where we all acknowledge claims against brokers were not preempted before 1995. And then Congress decides in 95 we need to add brokers. And the way they do it is they, as Mr. Clement said, insert them in C and add this provision B. And it just makes no sense whatsoever that a Congress interested in preempting claims against brokers would leave greater state authority over interstate broker services than intrastate. That is so weird. I am unaware of any preemption regime, express, implied, field, conflict, obstacle, whatever, in which that's how it works. It is so bizarre that I think you really should look at the safety exception the way respondents do, because that's the only way to.
But let me ask